Mr. Edley Williams watched me grow up as I watched him grow old. He entered my life on a chilly Thanksgiving afternoon 10 years ago. Delivering meals to elderly residents of San Francisco during the holidays has been a long-standing tradition in my family. However, at the innocent age of 7, I had yet to discover value in these visits. Forced interactions with unfamiliar faces made me feel uncomfortable. I spent the greater part of each encounter glued mutely to my mother's side, my eyes fixed on my feet. Edley Williams spent the final 40 years of his life living alone above a 24-hour donut shop in a tiny but tidy one-bedroom apartment. He was a stout man with a graying beard and dark chocolate eyes that were framed behind silver spectacles. His booming Jamaican voice, powerful yet soothing, was unlike anything I had heard before. That visit to Edley Williams was my first of many, as our family holiday deliveries grew into a more regular occurrence. During our visits, Mr. Williams played the role of a storyteller extraordinaire. He connected with people through the sharing of his life stories, recounting his youth in Jamaica, his remarkable opera career in Vienna and New York, and his beloved mother. Edley Williams was the proud narrator of his own life. We were his attentive audience. Over time, formalities fell away and we grew to be like family. Mr. Williams became my very own Grandpa Ed. I became his Nina. Through my relationship with Edley Williams, I learned that there are many ways to live life. My own life has largely been a linear progression shaped by the setting and pursuit of goals. Grandpa Ed challenged this way of living. He lived simply and without a predetermined direction. While he may have lacked in worldly riches, Grandpa Ed possessed an abundance of gratitude and a profusion of joy that trumped material wealth. He impacted my life, not with what he owned, but with what he shared, a contagious love of life that gushed from the tales he told. I believe any person who had the good fortune of meeting Edley Williams could not have been anything less than deeply touched. My Grandpa Ed passed away last year, at peace and with grace. One of his final wishes was a taste of chestnut stuffing, reminiscent of his distant but unforgotten childhood. Thus ensued our family's determined efforts to grant this exceptional man his simple yet profound wish. After a failed attempt in our own kitchen, we proceeded to search the entirety of San Francisco for a single serving of chestnut stuffing. Lesson learned: good chestnut stuffing is hard to make and even harder to find. Yet, after countless phone calls to restaurants and delis, we finally struck gold. Our family raced downtown to retrieve the chestnut treasure from the basement kitchen of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Later that day, we delivered the stuffing to Grandpa Ed. "My family," he exclaimed in his undiminished baritone voice. He was in tears before even taking a bite. Mr. Edley Williams was a storyteller who lived with an immense appreciation for the small details. While these details may have gone overlooked by most, he gave them great significance. Mr. Williams taught me to live in gratitude for the little things that make life richer. I will always miss my Grandpa Ed, yet my sadness is tempered by the feeling that he remains as alive as ever through these life lessons that I carry with me.